So recently my friend Vandal made a video called Dumb Celebrity Games, and I think the title speaks for itself. By the way, you should totally check out the channel, they're really good. Myself, I'm not big into celebrities, thankfully, but that got me thinking, wasn't there another franchise I love that uses real people for its characters? And there was! Yakuza! Now, I don't wanna sound like one of those people that go, celebrities, but from Japan. But ever since I got into the series, I found it so cool that most of the important characters it has are based on famous people from Japan. But what I find most intriguing is how this philosophy has affected the series. Have you ever wondered why Hana didn't make a return to the games but Akiyama did? Don't you find it curious why Lao looks so different on the Chinese version of Yakuza 0? Believe it or not, these rights to use someone else's face and voice have played a big role in which characters return and which ones don't. That is implying they don't die in the story. So that's the point of the video. I'm gonna give a look to some of the most important characters, the actor that portrays them, and some interesting facts too. So I think it's appropriate I start with... Kuse is one of the best villains in all of Yakuza. He's a character so cool who never stops messing with Kiryu at every turn. Even if set encounters end up feeling like...
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Kuse was actually the first time I found out some Yakuza characters were played by real actors. He borrowed the likeness of Hitoshi Osawa, a multi-talented film actor who has starred and directed many successful movies. True to Kuse's nature as a Yakuza and as a former boxer, Osawa is no stranger to action-packed dramas. And he's not the only Dojima lieutenant worth a mention. Riki Takeuchi played Hiroki Awano. And it's funny, out of all the lieutenants, for me, he always had this unique sense of humor, but was still very fucked up at the same time. And there's an explanation to that. Takeuchi is an actor who is extremely good in comedic roles and action roles, so it's no wonder I felt that way about him. Dead or Alive has him as a Yakuza boss. He appeared in Battle Royale 2 playing himself, has his own musical career, and starred in a comedic miniseries where he plays an amnesiac grandma who fights none other than Hideo Nakano, or as we know him, Keiji Shibusawa, the final obstacle in Kiryu's adventure. An actor mostly known for appearing in Outrage and Outrage Beyond, movies that were very popular in Japan that had a strong emphasis on the criminal underworld. So it's no wonder Nakano was the perfect fit for Shibusawa. These movies also feature even more Yakuza characters. One of them is Shingo Tsurumi, who played another character I love from Zero, Tsukasa Sagawa. Not a lot I can say about him, other than he's a famous actor and that he's also a...
Viejo sabroso.
One last Yakuza 0 character I want to talk about is Takashi Nihara, the second chairman of the Tojo clan, which... I honestly forgot he existed, but I was very impressed by what I found. He's played by Hidekatsu Shibata, a legendary voice actor who has appeared in some of my favorite anime. Like in One Piece, he plays Monkey D. Dragon, and he's also King Bradley from Full Metal Alchemist. I fucking love the latter because he pulled off an incredible performance that gave Bradley a stronger and menacing presence. Earlier I mentioned that the Outrage franchise features a lot of faces from the Yakuza series, but none of them is more important than Takeshi Kitano, who gave his likeness for Toru Hirose in Yakuza 6. Takeshi is one of the most successful comedians, TV hosts, and filmmakers in Japan. And if you still don't know who he is, he's the guy who approached Nintendo to release Takeshi's Challenge, a video game known as one of the worst of all time due to its insane difficulty and trial and error gameplay. He wouldn't be involved with the video game industry until 30 years later when Yakuza 6 released. Hirose isn't the only member of the Hirose family to be modeled after a real person. Yuta Usami is perhaps the most divisive character in Yakuza 6, and in case you really hate him, rejoice! Now you can find his real actor, Tatsuya Fujiwara and beat him up. Don't do that, I was just joking. Learn to differentiate the actor from the character it plays. Don't be fucking stupid, you guys are better than that. The other Hirose member with a real actor behind it is Nagumo, played by Hiroyuki Miyasako, and it's weird. All I could find about him were scandals of him being involved with actual Yakuza. Ironic, I know. He hasn't returned to the entertainment industry, but he made a YouTube channel that quickly became a success. How does that happen? Maybe I should get involved with Mexican cartels. That might help my channel grow exponentially. With these scandals, I doubt we will see the Hirose family in the series again, which is a shame. I really like them. Anyway, Yakuza 2 has an antagonist named Ryo Takashima, the chief of the Omi Alliance. He sucks, but when Yakuza Kiwami 2 released, he still sucked as a villain, but his entire appearance also changed to that of his new voice actor Hakuryu. I can't tell you how famous he truly is, but I imagine he must be a pretty big deal, considering they changed an entire character just for him. But what is more interesting is that his previous appearance was reused for Kei Ibuchi, the main antagonist of the Majima saga from Kiwami 2. This guy is nothing special, he also fucking sucks. But there's one particular thing I noticed the moment I first heard him. Can you tell what it is?
数字を残せる人間を幹部に登用し、稼げない人間を排除する。
In case you don't know what I'm talking about, let me just...
このディオだ! Goodbye, Judgement!
He's played by Takehito Koyasu! I fucking love this voice actor! He's one of the few Japanese ones I can instantly recognize! In One Piece, he's Admiral Aokiji. In Fire Emblem, he gave his voice to Lewin, Pent, and Seraph. Some of my favorite characters in their respective games. Of course, he also plays Dio from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is perhaps his most iconic role. And even in Full Metal Alchemist, I was able to recognize him as Scar's brother, a character that barely appears on screen. I just really like this voice actor. I only wish he hadn't been wasted on such a terrible villain, but oh well, what can you do? And since I'm on the topic of voice actors, why don't I tell you a bit about Kiryu Kazuma? It's no secret to anyone that starting with Ryuga Gotoku Kensan, Kiryu was redesigned to look more alike to his voice actor. Not one-on-one the same, but the facial features are clearly there. And if you've always wondered why Kiryu is such a good singer, that's because his voice actor is also the lead singer of his own band, Takaya Kuroda and Goodfellas. The funniest thing about this is that when I was doing research, I found out the voice actor also gave his voice to some Thomas the Engine characters.
そうやって楽しそうに笑っていられるのも今のうちだ。蒸気機関車どもめ。
And I just can't get over the fact that these trains share voices with Kiryu. That's like when you find out Pearl from SpongeBob and the boss from Metal Gear Solid 3 have the same voice actress. Another interesting fact about Kiryu is his other voice actor. Yakuza 1 on the PS2 is infamous for having a hilariously bad voice acting.
I'm not Yakuza.
You think I'm a fucking idiot? Look at you, fuckhead!
But something that caught me off guard was when I first played Like a Dragon in English and found Kiryu being voiced by the same guy who performed as him in the first game. 14 years of difference, and they still decided to bring this guy back. And you know, that's awesome! I really like his performance in Like a Dragon. Maybe the next time we can get Mark Hamill to voice Goro Majima again? I doubt so. Mark Hamill doesn't even remember he voiced Majima at some point. One cool case of real actors making an appearance in the series is Lao Wei, the final boss Majima has to face in Yakuza 0. Most of us remember him as this sleep-deprived old guy with a lot of markings and wrinkles on his face. But Chinese fans might not recognize this appearance, as all Chinese versions of Yakuza 0 replace Lao's face with that of famous Hong Kong actor Sam Lee. And I found that interesting because I couldn't find more characters whose faces were changed only in specific regions. Personally, I prefer the old and menacing Lao Wei. But hey, if Chinese fans enjoy this actor, then that's great. By the way, I also know of 2 more characters whose models were changed, but not to appeal to a different crowd, but rather entirely different reasons. Judgement is a game I still don't play, but this case was very interesting. There's a character named Kyohei Hamura, played by Japanese actor Pierre Taki. After the game released, Pierre was charged with drugs possession and he pled guilty. In case you didn't know, being caught with drugs in Japan equals the end of your career, and because of this, Sega released a patch that will change Pierre's appearance and voice. You know where else he was removed from? Kingdom Hearts 3. He's the Japanese voice of Olaf. But after the drug allegations came out, he had to be replaced. I guess Disney didn't want this abomination to be associated with cocaine. The other case is way more tragic. Yakuza has had a lot of playable characters throughout the years, but some of them have never returned in any way, shape or form. For example, there's Tatsuo Shinada, which, as far as I'm aware, is not based on a real person. That honor goes to Masayoshi Tanimura, who never made a comeback to the series. You would think that is because his arc was fully completed in Yakuza 4, but the real reason is way more unfortunate. Tanimura was played by famous actor Hiroki Narimiya, which, fun fact, stars as Phoenix Wright in the Ace Attorney live-action movie. I recommend you to watch that one. However, it all crashed down when in 2016, a magazine published an article accusing Narimiya of consuming cocaine and other drugs. These claims quickly proved to be fake, but feeling betrayed by many people, as well as feeling his privacy was at risk, which caused him a lot of anxiety, he quit the entertainment industry forever. So come the Yakuza 4 remaster a few years later, and Tanimura's face and voice were replaced by Toshiki Masuda. And I find this whole case very sad, because it just goes to show how strict Japan's laws on drugs are, and how savage the entertainment industry is, where just one article is enough to ruin your career. You know which other character I was always upset never returned? Hana! And that one baffles me so much! She's such a great character! She's likable, funny, cute, and her dynamic with Akiyama is just perfect! And aside from a few minutes in Dead Souls, a voice cameo in 5 and a minigame cameo in Kurohyo, she has never been seen again, and for the longest time I didn't know why. But by doing research for this video, I was finally able to kinda find an answer. It was basically a combination of health issues and a sex scandal that happened to her voice actress, Aya Hirano, during the year 2010 when Yakuza 4 was already out, and Dead Souls was in development, which will explain why she was still able to appear in the latter. But it's still weird, because nowadays the actress is still doing a lot of voice performances, and even has her own musical career. So why exactly hasn't Hana returned? Was it the scandals of 2010? Or has Sega never found a legit way to bring her back? Maybe we will never know. And now that I mention it, this topic of Hana got me thinking. Why was Akiyama the only relevant character to not appear in like a dragon? Everything I'm about to say is pure speculation, but a lot of fans believe that this is because his voice actor, Koichi Yamadera, was unavailable for the role at the moment, was too expensive to hire, or had issues with Sega. Many believe that Akiyama was going to appear in Like a Dragon, but because his voice actor was unavailable, a new character was created in the form of Nick Ogita. Again, this is nothing but pure speculation, but I think it makes some sense. I like the character of Nick, I really do. But when you think of it, he fulfilled Akiyama's role in the story of being a source of money when needed. Throughout this video, we have seen how Japan really respects its actors. So if they can't make it, the character won't make it. Akiyama has been a mainstay of the series since his debut, and he's the only one to be absent, like... Even Makoto Date was in Like a Dragon for one insignificant cutscene! And if you want to take that respect for actors to a new level, look no further than the Judgement games. The future of the series was left in limbo for a short time, and it's all related to the actors. To give you some background, Takayuki Yagami, the main protagonist, is played by actor Takuya Kimura. His talent agency, named Joni & Associates, is super strict over the image of its actors and didn't want the Judgement games to be on PC because they are easier to mod and it will ruin the image of its actors. Which I think is really stupid because you can also do that on consoles. This naturally led to an argument because if Lost Judgment couldn't make it on PC, it wouldn't make a lot of profits and might mark the end of the series. However, a few months later, Ryuga Gotoku Studios revealed that Yakuza 8 is in development and also said that, and I quote, "We will also take great care over the Judgement series." This tells us there's still a future for the games, but it's still uncertain. Will they ever release on PC? Will Yagami continue to be the protagonist? At the time of this video we can't tell. And all because one company is super strict about its actors' image. Now to end this video, I want to take a quick look at celebrities who are mostly relevant in minigames. Eri Kamataki from Like a Dragon is modeled after Eri Kamataki! This is something I genuinely didn't know about. When Ichiban Kasuga was revealed to be the new protagonist of the series, Sega also opened auditions for a female partner. With more than 1,000 participants, she won the final round where only 10 finalists remained, earning her a spot with the Like a Dragon gang and $1 million to her purse. Some of the other contestants still made their way into the game in the form of NPCs. Other celebrities that play a huge role in minigames are the main antagonists of the clan creator minigame in Yakuza 6, where 6 NJPW wrestlers play the roles of members of Justice, a powerful gang from Japan where you defeat them one by one and eventually recruit them into your clan, all with their own fighting styles and catchphrases.
Tranquilo.
But no other cameo is more well known than the hostesses from the whole series, because most of them are played by real hostesses and Jab actresses. Quick question, is it pronounced Jab or J-A-B? I always say the former because it reminds me to...
And jab, jab, jab.
But anyway, in case you have a clearer mind and don't know what a jab is, it's basically...
Sexo, 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 sexo.
Some of the most notable examples include the rivals from the cabaret minigames, your secretary in the real estate minigame of Zero, Yakuza 6 straight up lets you chat with Dan Ryokita, and I know that's a name I don't need to introduce. So yeah, if you didn't know that before, now you do. You're welcome. And finally, I saved the best for last. Do you remember Mr. Libido from Yakuza 0? Well, it turns out he's a real person. But to make matters even more weird than the character itself, I couldn't find more information about this guy. His name, his career, nothing but the surprise that Mr. Libido is a real person and he's out there doing what he loves the most. I made this video because while I'm not into celebrities, I still find it interesting how these faces change the series and cause some characters to never return despite being alive at the end of their games. I think we saw a little of everything. Respected veteran actors, fresh new faces to the industry, interesting trivia, explanations to some characters never returning, and one series almost dying because of strict regulations. This is something I like and hate about Yakuza, because every game always has its batch of good characters, where their actors do a great job to bring the best out of them. But at the same time, this usually means we will never see them again. And that's a shame, like... Where's Tatsuo Shinada? I'm serious, I fucking love the guy! He was the only good part of Yakuza 5's story, and you mean to tell me he still hasn't returned to the series? It just makes me want to burst into Sega's office and politely ask them... Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? I don't know, Where is he? Where is he?